Hi, I'm Sean Clark. Today I'm in Birmingham, England for a very special episode of Horror's Hallowed Grounds. I'm going to be visiting all the locations of Ozzy Osbourne and the band Black Sabbath. I'll be heading to his childhood home. I'll be going to visit the famous bench, mural, all the stuff that the tourists are going to be doing. But on top of that, I'm going to be going to back to the beginning, the final concert. And then we're wrapping it up a week later at Birmingham ComicCon, where I have the Osbournes appearing for a convention. So it's gonna be 10 days of nothing but Ozzy goodness. So come on board the crazy train and welcome to Ozzy's Hallowed Grounds. We're on our way to Birmingham. Our trip to Birmingham. On our way to Birmingham. Got a big zit right there. So here we are in Frankfurt on our layover to Birmingham, and our flight looks very metal. I'm seeing many metal shirts, many Ozzy shirts, many Sabbath shirts. This is all aboard the metal plane. So I'm in England, Birmingham. They gave me shit for saying Birmingham. Yeah, no H, Birmingham. I just picked up my credentials for the, I guess, VIP area of some sort. I don't know. I wasn't expecting to get anything, to be honest. But it was a pleasure to receive an email saying I could pick up my VIP credentials at another hotel. So I went and grabbed those. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful crossing the streets here. You know, it screws me up, you know, the different sides. But yeah, I'm exhausted. Have not slept. And I passed a place on the way here that looked Black Sabbath themed. Maybe they changed it up for the weekend. I'm gonna go check it out right now. It's called Bonehead. Let's see what that's about. Metal themed fucking chicken place or something. I'm gonna go check this out. Bonehead, bloody Bonehead. I love it. That's rad. Looks like a bar. It's a chicken place. What's going on? The Bonehead looked pretty rad, actually, chicken, but unfortunately, quite a line. So I'm hungry right now. I'm gonna go get something else. Maybe I'll check this out. I'm here for a week, so I'll come back. I didn't even realize it that when I was walking to get my credentials that I passed right by here. There were so many people, and I was looking at my phone, looking at the directions. I did not realize that I was walking past this. And how rad is this? I will come back tomorrow, get selfies and whatnot. But it's so cool to see all these fans. There's so many fans hanging out in front of our hotel too. I think they know that's where certain people are staying. I'll say that. But anyway, pretty badass. Here's our swanky credentials. We got the BS hospitality, which, you know, that don't sound good. And then we got the ooh hospitality, or ooh. Somebody said it might stand for Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne, but I don't believe it. And here we are on our way to the final Black Sabbath show. Are you excited, Ben? That says it all. The horn says it all. Alright, so we're heading to the venue. There's a guy ahead of us here who's dressed like Ozzy, complete with a cane. He's taking selfies. What this guy's doing? Yeah.
You're looking at the stage. What zone are we?
It's a good question. Let me look.
Blue.
Well, yeah, so we're inside the venue, and look how cute you looking today. I just had to say that. Anyway, we're in the venue here, and we're trying to find the hospitality, the Black Sabbath hospitality, and it's like impossible to find. So we actually found a guy who called somebody, and they're bringing someone over to take us there. So we'll see. We're now being escorted to the entrance. We're gonna get there safely because we're with the safety team. We're in the Black Sabbath hospitality suite. How rad is this painting? This company here is giving away awesome shirts and stuff and tattoos. Around in here. See Jakey Lee's kicking it over there. Wow. This is really nice. This is badass. Wow. This is so cool. We're in the upstairs part of the hospitality suite, which is a separate pass. Nobody's up here at the moment. How rad is this? The pillows. This is so cool. Oh, they have art of all the different bands, different people performing. Let's take a look at these. We got Duff, Travis Barker, Jason Momoa, Rival Sons, Gojira, Tom Morello, Hailstorm. Sounds like the concert's actually about to begin right now. Some chains. They're actually, they made Scott look like Colonel Sanders. I don't know what's going on with that. Slash, who we bumped into in the hallway at our hotel this morning. Metallica. Lamb of God. Unfortunately, they put the trash can in front of Lamb of God. That is disrespectful. Tool. Yeah, Papa. Pantera. This is so cool. They're right in there. That's where the concert is. May have to go in there now and check it out. Seeing some bands arrive at the moment. Who we got? That blonde kid was in the elevator with us last night, or this morning. He might be in one of the bands. I don't know who he is.
Last night with the mom.
No, this morning, I believe.
Yeah, but he was also last night, I thought. Oh, there's Youngblood.
Oh, there's Youngblood, yeah. Youngblood right there. Actually, yeah, who knows? Might be one of Youngblood's friends. Who knows? We see a full drum set rolling at you. That's kind of cool. That was a nice drum set. Very cool.
Sabbath, we love you.
closest you can get a seat is this row. Pretty awesome.
And that's to celebrate the music that Black Sabbath gave us! We're not here to say goodbye. We're just here to say thank you! So thank you, Black Sabbath. Thank you, Ozzy Osbourne.
Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward for creating fucking heavy metal and bringing us all together. All right, motherfuckers. Let's see some fucking movement out there. I know you know how we do in England. This song is called Redneck. Move that fucking pit.
On our toast to Dave playing these covers for the first time, maybe the only time. This one is called Under the Sun.
Charlie's drum set going by. Look, I think Charlie needs more drums.
What's your price, guys?
Mind the feet. We've experienced Sabbath, and we're in the after party here. We're having fun with the beautiful people like Randy from Lamb of God. And yeah, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing we got to experience this together. So we're at the Black Sabbath mural. I don't know how long this is going to stay. I hope it's permanent. You know, God forbid there's any graffiti or vandals. There's actually a guy over there doing some touch-up paint right now. I'm not sure exactly what he's painting over, but he's got a bucket of black paint and he's down there at the end touching up the wall. Let's get to my story with Ozzy and Black Sabbath. I first found out about Ozzy probably really in junior high school. I think it was in 7th grade. There was a kid that had a Blizzard of Oz t-shirt, and I was fascinated by it. And that's kind of where I first really noticed Ozzy Osbourne. Yes, I had heard Black Sabbath. I knew songs like Paranoid. I knew songs like Iron Man. But I didn't really know anything about the band per se. It wasn't until I got the courage to buy an Ozzy album. And I remember exactly where I was and what album it was. I was at Tower Records in Brea. I think I had gone to visit my Aunt Robin. Well, she took me to Tower Records and I saw the cover of Speak of the Devil. And it freaked me out. The red stuff coming out of his mouth that looked like, I don't know, looked like bloody chunks. And I said, I want this record. Didn't know what was on it, just was intrigued by the cover, and I wanted to check it out. So that was really my first introduction to Ozzy Osbourne, and it happened to be Black Sabbath music, and I loved it. And from then on, I was hooked. Went out and got Blizzard of Oz, went out and got Diary of a Madman. And then in 1984, I went to my first Ozzy Osbourne concert. Long Beach Arena, Bark at the Moon tour. Rat was opening. There I was, 13-year-old kid, going to see Rat and Ozzy Osbourne, not knowing that 40 years later, I would be working with both the lead singer of Rat and Ozzy Osbourne. That's kind of nuts. It's kind of crazy if you think about it. Went to that concert, loved it. Then Ozzy came back around, Long Beach Arena again, the Ultimate Sin Tour. And this time a little band supporting their new album called Master of Puppets was opening. And that was Metallica, with Cliff Burton on bass, just a mere few months before he passed away. What a time to have gotten to see these guys. I mean, pretty amazing. And now, here I am in Birmingham, England, where Ozzy grew up, where Sabbath was born, where metal was born, and I'm getting to hang out here for 10 days and do all things Ozzy. So, pretty remarkable if you think about it. So, I'm heading into the Bull Ring here in Birmingham, and I'm told in this department store here, Selfridges and Company, they have a Lego Ozzy. So we're gonna have to go check this out. At this place, we're over that one. Look at the big Black Sabbath sign here. It might be right on the other side of that, I hope. Yeah, look at this. Very nice. Ready for heavy metal history? Hell yeah. Okay, I just noticed this. I guess they have maybe some clothing over here. Oh, it's just some generic metal stuff. There is the Ozzy over there. There it is. Oh, yes. Look at this. Oh, yeah, there's some Sabbath shirts right there. How cool is that? Oh, now they're gonna try to demonetize my video because the music's playing. But look at that. That is pretty awesome.
Watching those flames get higher and higher.
Yep. This is really cool. Another mural. Pretty awesome. So we got in Friday night, and there was a little VIP party at the hotel. Scotty in from Anthrax invited Nay and I, and we went, and it was really cool. A lot of the musicians were there, and we mainly just hung out with Frank Bello and Scotty in most of the night. But then Tobias Forge came up, started talking to Scott, and then ended up hanging out with us for like an hour and chatted it up with him. It was pretty awesome. I hadn't seen him in a long time. He recognized me, didn't remember me exactly, but did recognize me. But then when I told him the story that the first time we met, that I was the guy that introduced him to Linda Hamilton at Texas Frightmare weekend when he showed up with the band in full costume, he immediately was like, yes, and she grabbed my ass. And I may even have the photo when that happened. I'll drop it in here, when she just grabbed a chunk of Papa. And anyway, it was really cool hanging out with him and just catching up. He's just such a nice, laid-back guy, just so chill. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. And then we pretty much went to bed, passed out, got up the next day, had breakfast, and went to the concert. And that was biblical. That was pretty amazing. I don't think I've been to anything quite like that in a long, long time. I mean, it was a special, special event. And I really can only compare it to something like the US Festival or Live Aid, which oddly enough, Ozzy played at both of those things. Ozzy at US Festival and Black Sabbath played at Live Aid. But just seeing all those different artists come together and for a cause, for a one love of Sabbath and Ozzy, I mean, it's just amazing. Anyway, it was just a magical evening, and pretty excited to have been able to experience it. And I'll give you my best recap of what I saw and experienced myself. But you know, one thing that couldn't help but like go through my mind was like, this is something every iconic band should do, an event like this. You know, I know there's only so few that would command that kind of guest list of artists to perform, but like, first thing that crossed my mind was, this is what Kiss should have done. I mean, you know, such an anticlimactic end to an amazing career. That's what Kiss should have done, something on this scale, and been celebrated by all the bands that were influenced by them. But anyway, you know, knowing Kiss, that opportunity probably was still around the corner. But what an amazing event. I'm so grateful to Sharon for basically making this possible for me. I mean, just very blessed. At HMV, and look at more Sabbath stuff. Sabbath Mania. This is so cool. Can't beat it. Just happened to be going by Grand Central, and right about the time Ozzy the Bull is supposed to come to life. This thing is pretty massive. Wow. It's kind of hard to get a sense of just how big this thing is until you're down here next to it. It's crazy. Pretty impressive. That's about as tall as I am, up to maybe his knee. And then, yep. Huge. Ozzy the Bull. Okay, I just got the skinny on Ozzy the Bull. Apparently since March 28th, he has been stationary because a small part came loose inside his head. You'd think they would have got that stuff fixed before the big Sabbath weekend, but apparently they did not. So I'm not going to waste my time hanging around here anymore because I was here at 15 after the hour and it didn't start. And I was like, what the heck? Well, give him a little pet. And now stepping out of the train station where Ozzy the Bull was, heading across the street to the Crown. This is technically what they say is the birthplace of heavy metal. This is where Black Sabbath played their first show. Up there on the second floor is actually where the stage was. This place has been closed a long time, but now decorated with Sabbath goodness. Look at this. Right up there. Awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Right here. The birthplace of heavy metal. I just met this nice gentleman who's a local who told me a story about this pub that Tony Iommi recently tried to buy it from the owner, but the owner wants to knock it down and sell it to a developer because, you know, it's now across the street from this famous train station and it's worth a lot more money nowadays. So that's pretty lame that they wouldn't sell it to him. Thank you. I mean, what this should be is a Sabbath-themed pub with like a mini museum or something. I mean, that would be amazing. It's where it all started, brother. Right here. What is this that stands behind me? It's the place where it all began. Found Jeff Lynne from the ELO Star. Was trying to find the other members of Sabbath. Then I found out Ozzy's has been removed and is in the exhibit currently, but I don't know where the other guys are. If they took them out or not, but it's starting to look like they took them all out, so no clue. I tried. That's a cool painting. That's right. It's a lot like, it looks a lot like your shirt.
It's crazy.
There we go. So what this is, oh, there it is. Yeah, what this is the plaque that they give them when they get this. Just like the Hollywood one, this is the Hollywood one.
I didn't know they gave them mini ones.
Yeah, they give them mini ones. So this is the one we were looking for that they pulled out to put in the exhibit. We were walking around forever trying to find it.
Off the street?
Yeah.
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 We weren't sure if they took it out for the other Sabbath guys because we couldn't find theirs.
Yeah, because each member has one.
Oh, we're here?
Yeah.
Well,
It's
in
here.
Birmingham, like,
Yeah. Not too far from here,
Like
just
a
down,
mile?
right near the bench. I'm sure it was a zoo trying to get in here the last few days. So right here outside the exhibit is actually a statue that wasn't put up because of Ozzy, but apparently the townspeople refer to it as Iron Man. So it has Ozzy ties. So it's a big iron statue. The Iron Man. Check it out. Very cool. So I'm gonna walk through the photo exhibit here and just tell some stories as I peruse this. Some of the things that happened backstage that were really cool was got to have a cool conversation with Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins. He was awesome. I told him how much I enjoyed his podcast and that I thought he was a really good interviewer. And he really seemed to appreciate that and was like, wow, yeah, that means a lot, man. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback. He was a really nice guy. And then met Mike Borden from Faith No More. I'm a big fan of his work. Got a picture with him. And didn't have too much conversation. I did mention that I was an old school fan. I said, bro, I'm going way back. I saw you guys with Chuck Mosley was singing and Perkins Palace, and immediately he knew what show I was talking about. He's with Public Image, and I go, yeah, PIL, I was there. And anyway, that was cool. I saw Jakey Lee before he played, and we chatted for a bit, and I got a photo with him, and he was just so down to earth and humble and just grateful to be there. It was really trippy because it was almost like he seemed out of his element, and he just seemed so like happy to just be there. And then after the show, I was standing up on the balcony in the hospitality suite, and he came out, and I said, dude, you crushed it, man. He's like, really? I don't know, man. I just, and I go, nah, dude, you crushed it. That was great. He's like, I'm glad you think so, man. I really appreciate it. He was just so humble and down to earth and just, I don't know, really gracious. There was just crazy moments, you're just walking around, and like I look next to me and I'm standing next to Chad Smith and Sammy Hagar, I mean, at one point I'm walking and I just pass Ron Wood from the Rolling Stones, and I'm like, that is crazy. It's freaking Ron Wood right there, I happen to be coming back from my seat to go to the hospitality suite. We would basically, Nay and I would bounce in between during band changeovers, because there was usually 20 minutes in between each band. So we would run back to the hospitality suite, maybe grab a snack or a drink or something, and then go back out to our seats. And when Metallica ended, I was walking back, and the way you had to go was literally you were going up these stairs to right at the back corner of the stage. So you were walking right where the bands were walking off. And when Metallica ended, I was walking back and I wasn't even really paying attention. Then suddenly I looked over and I realized I'm walking right next to James Hetfield. I didn't realize how tall he was. I'm like, that's a big dude. He's a big dude. And I look behind me and I see Lars with his towel over his head. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is bizarre, man, you know? And it was crazy. It was just a crazy moment. Just all these people you're seeing, and your head is like constantly on a swivel, just like going, oh my God, there's that legend over there. There's Steven Tyler over there. There's Youngblood over there. I mean, it was just bizarre and a pretty amazing thing to experience. You can't really put it in words. Just feeling like you're part of that family. You know, I was there for a reason. I was invited to be there as a guest of Ozzy and Sharon, and it was very cool to be a part of the family and be treated in such a great way. I just so grateful. Here is the Sabbath bench. No line today, several days after the show. Very cool. That's right. Look at that.
Here he is. Hello, mate.
Sabbath Bridge. So cool. In the video, this is where you see Ozzy walking up with the reporter. Passes this corner, this sign right here, and heads down the street here in this direction, around the corner to his childhood home, which is just around that corner where that blue car just came from. Right down here.
There's 4, 6. Is it the one for sale?
Oh, that'd be amazing. Let's book a walkthrough.
I hope somebody yells at us, get away from my house.
Oh, I'm sure they've had it all weekend. Here it is. All right, where's the Iron Void? There it is. You can see it. Yep.
What is it?
Ozzy card, Iron Blade.
There it is.
I'll do it. Full person's probably
That is cool.
sitting there having their tea. Poor person.
Yeah.
How rad is that?
I'm sure they're used to it by now, especially this weekend.
Oh my God, yeah. Little Ozzy, little John.
You get out of the way.
Oh.
Look at where that guy parked. Like it.
Yep. He had that many
My parents
brothers and
bought
sisters?
those at one time.
Wow.
He had 4 sisters and 1 brother.
Wow.
I picked my mom's.
There it
Like
is.
5 girls in 1 bedroom.
I'm curious how big it is inside, like how far back it goes. As you can tell from the side over there. From this angle, you can actually see how small these really are. They're not wide at all. Look at
That's why
that.
whenever you see them from Long Island, I'm like, what town?
Yeah.
I'm like, you have to find out the town.
I know, look at that.
Yeah.
That's,
That's wild, right?
yeah. That's what you call old school.
I used to live in Brooklyn. My brother was a kid who died for years.
Ozzy's childhood home right there. we took.
Thank you for creating heavy metal and giving me a job.
And in turn, giving me a job. Right across from Bonehead. Wow. So I did return to Bonehead, and we ate there, and it was actually really, really good. So I highly recommend it. Good chicken and very metal. And it is still here. Now, there was some speculation maybe it was being painted over, or this building was possibly being torn down because there was scaffolding on this wall recently, but it is still here. How awesome is that? Pretty sweet. Sucks that there's been some graffiti here at the bottom, but maybe they can come back and touch this bad boy up. Hell yeah. The man, the band. Hey Dave, could you get behind that and push him in it?
Yeah.
Just push him a few feet forward.
It's actually get it from the side so you can
What?
see how my knees are like going down. So it is much higher than it looks.
How soon was Ozzy?
Push it, okay.
So it's early morning, Saturday the 12th. Today is the day of the Birmingham ComicCon. Midlands ComicCon, I think it's called. Anyway, so this is the day the Osbournes are appearing. So obviously got the appropriate dress wear on. This was the cool shirt that this company, you can read it, Mary Wyatt, I believe. They're giving these away in the backstage area, special shirt. It actually says Backstage. Very cool, got to wear that shirt today. And so obviously nerves are a little high, you know, as you want everything to go well. So you got the red double-decker buses and everything, the whole thing. I miss my dogs, miss my house, I miss my routine. So looking forward to getting back to that. But let's get this day going and going strong. This is the line here for the Osbournes. And then we're queuing up Ozzy's autograph lines here once they're done with the photo ops. And we'll have another photo op session later and another autograph session. It's all fun. Right in here, this is where Ozzy will be signing, right here. And on this side of this curtain, that's where they are doing the photo ops at the moment. Have a look. So we've just started the photo op session, group 1. Yeah, thank God. Oh, Ryan Buck's child. All right, next. So this is the first autograph, or excuse me, first photo op session. Then we autograph next, and then, yeah, it's gonna be a day.
What did the Back to the Beginning show mean to me? First off, just to be invited was incredible, you know, to see our name on this list with all these bands, but of course with Ozzy and Sabbath, and get to be invited to be a part of something that turned out to be so much bigger than the sum of its parts was incredible. I mean, I've been on tour since 1984, and it's in all these years, no other show has ever felt like this, and I think it was because all the bands that were a part of this, that were invited to honor Black Sabbath, we were all there for them. Usually when you're out playing shows, festivals, you know, it's about you. It's about your band getting up there and just fucking hammering it, you know, for whatever your set time is and doing the best you can. But this was about almost kind of like making our parents proud. Like, we just wanted to do good for Sabbath, and everyone was so nervous, which is also a thing I don't see very often. Every band, everyone was nervous to play. It was an emotionally immense evening, I cried about a dozen times, not because Sabbath is saying goodbye, but more because of what my connection is to their and Ozzy's and Sabbath's music. It brings me back to times in my life. It's just such a deep, deep connection I have. And getting to share that with my family and my friends that day just meant so much. It really was the best day of music I have ever been involved in.
So Osbourne's all over here. And then over here we have Scott and Frank from Anthrax and Randy from Lamb of God. This is Scott's line right here. The boys over here doing their thing. And then over here we got Sid. Jack and Kelly will be over here. Sharon's over there. Fortress of Solitude is where Ozzy will be. You can see the Sid's line at the moment. Shady character running Sid's line right here. Be careful of that guy. There's Sid back there.
These Americans.
Okay, so what this weekend meant to me, this past weekend, it was like really great for me because it was like a full circle and like moments like in more than one way, you know, and it's to be able to like start, that's probably Sydney. You know, when we got our start, our first big touring tour was Ozfest. And that was our first tour after our album, major label signing and all that, you know, it was like the whole dream, right? And to be here however many years later, was it like 25, 26 or something? I don't know. I'm 48 now. Kelly, who I met back then and like had obviously total blinders on back then, you know, because we were 7 years apart, and back then that was like we weren't even on each other's radar, right? And then fast forward later, running into each other in LA, and then, you know, obviously us starting a family together and everything, and it's all kind of like a fairy tale, man. If I'm being perfectly honest, it's there's not really a way to explain it for me. It's just it's out of my control. It really is. The universe just kind of does its thing and spins us and throws us and sweeps us and lets us fly through it, and we're just kind of observing everything as it happens. And I'm just thankful to the universe for bringing everything around full circle. It's everything you expect, and it's never happens the way you would ever expect it to happen. So I'd say I'm just getting started.
Okay. Lovely. 1, 2, 3.
Andy, the promoter, is going to get his photo with the fam.
Thanks for having us. No worries.
Okay. Ready, guys? 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
Nice to meet you guys.
So Kelly and Jack have started. And this is their line here. Pretty crazy. Sharon's going over here. Her line's looking pretty crazy. Look at this. Going way back here. Good stuff.
The whole weekend, what it meant to me was, I mean, it was obviously incredible to be with all those different musicians and to play for that crowd. But what it meant to me was, it's kind of a weird, bittersweet thing. Since Black Sabbath created heavy metal, heavy metal is a relatively young genre. My band Lamb of God is a heavy metal band. It's not often, I think, that you get to see the definitive last performance of a group of individuals who created a genre of music. It was really special to see that. I don't view it as an end of an era or anything like that, because music is eternal and Black Sabbath's music will always be here. But it was kind of a definitive timestamp almost in musical history for me. And I feel very fortunate to have been present for it. You know, it's not often that you get to see the final performance of a band that created a genre of music, much less you get to perform as a descendant of that band, as it were, because all heavy metal bands descend from Black Sabbath. As a descendant, you get to perform at that final performance. So it was bittersweet, but it was just amazing, you know, and it was just a huge honor overall. I think that's how we really feel. And it was a great way to send Ozzy off. You know, he was very happy. I think that was the overwhelming emotion amongst us band guys, is that Ozzy was super happy to be there, and that made all of us very happy.
Now Ozzy's meeting the city councilman from Birmingham. His name is Simon. He's giving him some badges, commemorative badges.
No? Come on, chickens, get in there.
We're on photo op session number 2. That's how they do it. People would say that they're rushed through. This is proof that they're not. Look, Ozzy's having a conversation here.
Both on opposite sides. He wants us all looking at the baby.
Ready, guys? Yeah. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good.
Ozzy fan in training right there.
What this weekend meant to me, well, it was great being in Birmingham. I loved it. Meeting a lot of people. We had this whole Black Sabbath continuation party. That's why I met so many great fans who came to me and thanked me, and I'm thanking them for coming. So it was all very surreal to me, and very, it was a lot of passion. I'm still on a high from the show, and just meeting all these people this weekend meant so much to me. So thank you all for coming out.
Another beautiful, bellish morning here in lovely Birmingham. So yesterday was the appearance of the Osbournes. We got through that and went great. Everybody seemed to have a great time. Ozzy was in great spirits, had some really beautiful moments, especially back in the green room when Scott and Frankie from Anthrax and Randy Blythe from Lamb of God came in and just talked to him about the show and how much it all meant to them. And Scott got his Into the Void stage played guitar signed by Ozzy, which he had Tony Iommi sign it at the gig. So that was pretty cool for him. And Randy got his special Black Sabbath Adidas shoes signed by Ozzy that he's going to auction off for Parkinson's charity. Man, I just got to say, just what an amazing week. What this, you know, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. It's been a lot of fun. I think some of the most fun has actually just been going to dinner with the guys at night, the conversations and the food, and it's been a blast. The concert was amazing, once in a lifetime experience. But I gotta say, you know, for a guy like myself who grew up listening to this man. Pretty crazy life I live. Very grateful. So I just want to say what this whole experience meant to me personally, with the beautiful sound of the church bells behind me. It was religious. It was a religious experience. This is the closest I'm going to get to it. Just incredible. I mean, so grateful to Sharon and Ozzy for taking care of me. I told Sharon yesterday, I said, look, I did not expect anything, and I completely was surprised and incredibly grateful that I had backstage access and was able to hang out and rub elbows with some of the greats and experience it not only from the stage, you know, watching it as a fan in the stands, but getting to see the excitement on all the artists' faces backstage as they also had religious experiences. So thank you for everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a lot there, but if you're a Sabbath fan, if you're an Ozzy fan, I'm sure it held your interest. Just documented one of the greatest weeks of my life. And until next time, see you soon.